If you've ever looked at someone at the peak of their career, someone who seems to have everything, someone whose life looks like a perfect Instagram highlight reel, you might have thought, I wish I could be them. I wish I had their life. We all see the light, the spotlight, the trophies, the applause. But very few ever see the shadows that stretch behind that light, the dark corridors of loneliness, sacrifice, and silent battles that make up the real road to success. Today, I'm going to tell you the truth that almost no one wants to talk about, the dark secret of success. It's not a fairy tale. It's not a perfectly planned journey with endless motivation and a playlist of upbeat music playing in the background. It's messy. It's painful. It's demanding in ways you can't imagine. And yet, for those who are willing to face it, it's worth every drop of sweat, every sleepless night, every moment of doubt that almost broke you. Here's the first truth. Success doesn't just cost you money, time, or effort. It costs you pieces of yourself. People think they can pursue success and still live exactly the same life they have now, with the same comfort, the same schedule, the same people around them, and the same level of emotional peace. But that's not how it works. To gain something extraordinary, you have to let go of something ordinary. Sometimes that means comfort. Sometimes it means friendships. Sometimes it means who you used to be. The first dark secret is that to win at the highest level, you have to give up things most people aren't willing to part with. It starts subtly. You stop hanging out with your friends as often. You work on your dream instead of attending every party, every weekend trip, every casual hangout. At first, people understand. They say, we get it, you're busy. But over time, the invitations stop coming. People start to think you've changed, and they're right. You have changed. You've traded easy pleasures for long-term vision. You've replaced instant gratification with delayed rewards. That trade-off is the first barrier where most people quit, because they didn't realize success asks for this much. When you're chasing something big, you have to learn to be comfortable with being misunderstood. Your decisions won't make sense to people who live for the weekend. Your sacrifices will look unnecessary to those who've never tasted the hunger of ambition. You'll be called obsessive, extreme, or even selfish. And maybe you are, but the truth is, no one ever built something legendary without going through a phase where almost everyone thought they were crazy. The real cost isn't just social. It's emotional. You'll have nights where you question everything, where the only person you can talk to about your doubts is yourself. And in those moments, you'll feel the weight of the path you chose. That's when most people start looking back at their old life, missing the easy joy of having no pressure, no deadlines, no weight on their shoulders. But if you can survive those moments, if you can walk through that darkness without letting it consume you, you start to understand something powerful. The sacrifices you make don't break you, they reshape you. The dark secret is that success takes things away from you before it gives you anything back. It asks you to pay the full price up front, in effort, sweat, and belief, before it ever delivers the reward. And this is where most people fail, not because they don't have the talent, but because they are not willing to live in that gap between the payment and the payoff. That's why your dream doesn't belong to everyone. It's not for those who need immediate proof. It's for those who can live without applause long enough to earn it. The second dark secret of success is that it demands an almost unnatural level of consistency, a level that will feel exhausting, even soul-crushing at times. People love the idea of working hard when they feel motivated. They imagine success as a series of powerful, cinematic moments where they're in the zone, grinding at 2 a.m. with their favorite playlist blasting and adrenaline rushing through their veins. But the reality? Most of the work isn't glamorous. It's repetitive. It's tedious. It's the kind of grind that makes you question if you're even moving forward. Consistency is not about working hard once in a while. It's about showing up every single day, regardless of how you feel. It's about doing the work on the days you feel unstoppable and on the days you feel like quitting. And here's the part no one wants to admit. Those days where you feel like quitting will be far more frequent than you think. You will wake up some mornings with zero energy, zero inspiration, and a heavy sense of pointlessness. And still, you'll have to work. That's the dark part. Success doesn't wait for you to feel ready. It doesn't pause for your emotions. The goals you've set don't care if you're tired, if you're stressed, if you just had an argument with someone you love. They demand the same level of action, whether your life is perfectly balanced or falling apart. The discipline to push forward when life feels heavy is one of the greatest predictors of success, and one of the most difficult skills to develop. You'll realize that most people around you aren't failing because they're not talented. They are failing because they can't stay consistent through boredom, setbacks, and slow results. And here's the cruel twist. Success often hides results from you for as long as possible. You can work for months, sometimes years, before you see any tangible payoff. This is where the majority give up, not because they can't do it, but because they can't keep doing it without constant evidence that it's working. There will be stretches of time where you question if you're making progress at all. You'll compare yourself to others who seem to be sprinting ahead while you're crawling. You'll start to wonder if maybe you're wasting your life chasing something that isn't meant for you. But the truth is, those slow, invisible seasons are where the real foundation is built. You're not just building a career or a business or a body, you're building yourself into the kind of person who can handle what's coming. The dark secret is that success is less about the breakthrough moments and more about the non-moments, the days when nothing exciting happens, when no one notices your effort, when you question your own sanity. If you can keep going through those days, you develop a kind of unshakable resilience that no setback can destroy. That's when success starts to bend in your direction, because most of your competition will have already quit. You have to decide early, are you chasing success only for the moments that feel good, or are you willing to commit to the grind when it feels like nothing is happening? If it's the latter, you're already ahead of 90% of people. If it's the former, you'll join the long list of dreamers who started strong and disappeared quietly. Consistency is the invisible crown of success. The world may not see it, but those who wear it know the weight it carries. The third dark secret of success is that it will test your ability to face failure, not once, not twice, but relentlessly until you either adapt or give up. People talk about failure like it's a single event, a chapter you get through before you finally win. But that's not how it works. In reality, success is built on layers of failure. You'll face so many setbacks, missteps, and disappointments that you'll lose count. And here's the part that shocks most people. The failures don't necessarily get smaller as you grow. They often get bigger, scarier, and more expensive. In the early stages, a failure might mean a project that doesn't work, a client that says no, a plan that falls apart. But as you rise, the stakes rise with you. A bad decision could cost you thousands, maybe even millions. A wrong move could damage your reputation. And sometimes, despite your best efforts, things will go wrong simply because the world doesn't owe you predictability. Success forces you to build a relationship with uncertainty, to live with the constant awareness that everything could change in an instant. What makes this a dark secret is that most people think failure is the opposite of success, when in truth, it's the breeding ground of it. Every failure carries a lesson that can make you sharper, wiser, more prepared, but only if you're willing to extract the lesson instead of hiding from it. Too many people let failure convince them they're not good enough. They see it as proof that they should stop. And that's exactly why they never make it. When you fail, it will hurt. There's no sugarcoating that. It will bruise your ego, it will shake your confidence, it might even make you want to disappear for a while. But the people who succeed at the highest levels are the ones who take that pain and turn it into data. They ask, what went wrong? What can I change? How can I make sure this doesn't happen again? And then, most importantly, they get back up faster than they fell. The dark reality is that the world doesn't care about your excuses. You can explain to everyone why you failed, you can blame circumstances, timing, or even bad luck. But the truth is, the only thing that matters is whether you try again. Success doesn't arrive because you avoid failure. It arrives because you survive it repeatedly until the wins finally outweigh the losses. Think about any icon you admire, an athlete, an entrepreneur, an artist. If you could read their private journal, you'd find pages and pages filled with moments of doubt, failed attempts, and painful losses. But you'd also see a relentless commitment to keep going. That's the part no one claps for, the part that happens in silence, away from the crowd. The dark secret is this: success isn't built on the absence of failure, it's built on an immunity to it. It's the ability to take a hit, learn, and move forward, not once but over and over again until the pattern of failing and rising becomes second nature. Most people will never get there because they spend too much energy avoiding the fall, when they should be training themselves to rise faster. The fourth dark secret of success is that the higher you climb, the lonelier it gets. Nobody talks about this in motivational speeches because it doesn't fit the inspiring highlight reel. But the truth is, success changes the dynamics of almost every relationship you have, and not always for the better. At the start of your journey, you might imagine that when you make it, you'll have your closest friends and family celebrating beside you, cheering you on, feeling proud of you. And while that's sometimes true, it's not the whole truth. What many don't realize is that success subtly, and sometimes dramatically, shifts the way people see you. Some will admire you. Some will be inspired by you. But others will envy you. Some will feel threatened by your growth. Some will secretly hope you fail just so they can feel better about not taking their own risks. And here's the harshest part: you will lose people you thought would be by your side forever. Not because you wanted to lose them, but because success creates a gap that can't always be bridged. When your priorities change, when your schedule fills with work that others don't understand, when you start making decisions that don't align with the comfort zone of those around you, the connection starts to fade. They may accuse you of changing, of forgetting where you came from. And you'll want to defend yourself, to explain that you're still the same person inside, but deep down, you'll know that you're not the same person anymore. And you're not supposed to be. The dark truth is, growth demands transformation. You can't chase extraordinary goals while staying exactly the same. But here's where it hurts. The more you evolve, the harder it becomes to relate to people who've chosen not to. Conversations that once flowed effortlessly may now feel forced. Shared experiences become fewer. And slowly, you'll find yourself spending more time alone, not because you want to, but because fewer people truly understand the path you're on. Loneliness in success isn't just about losing friends. It's about realizing that the room you're in feels emptier the higher you climb. The events you're invited to might be more glamorous, the people more impressive on paper, but genuine connection becomes rare. You'll learn that being surrounded by people and being truly understood are two entirely different things. This isolation can break people. It can make them long for the simpler days when they felt connected, even if they weren't fulfilled. It's why some successful people sabotage themselves, to return to a version of life that felt warmer, even if it was smaller. The only way to survive this is to accept that solitude is part of the price you pay. You must learn to find peace in your own company, to be your own biggest supporter when no one else is clapping. You'll have to build inner stability so strong that it doesn't shatter when relationships shift, when friends drift away, when even family doesn't fully understand your choices. The dark secret is that success will sometimes feel like standing at the top of a mountain you fought your whole life to climb, only to realize you're standing there alone. The question you'll have to ask yourself is, did you climb for the applause or did you climb for the view? If you climb for the view, the solitude won't crush you. In fact, it might even feel like freedom. The fifth dark secret of success is that it forces you to trade comfort for chaos, and the moment you try to hold on to both, you start losing ground. Most people crave success because they imagine it will make life easier. They picture financial freedom, freedom of time, the ability to say yes to opportunities without hesitation. And while those benefits can eventually come, they rarely arrive without first throwing your life into disorder. Success is not born in stability, it's born in turbulence. It's messy. It's unpredictable. It pulls you out of bed earlier than you want and keeps you awake later than you planned. It disrupts your routines, pushes you into new environments, and forces you into situations where the rules you used to live by no longer apply. Here's what most people don't realize: comfort is addictive. Once you have it, your brain fights to keep it. That's why the moment things get chaotic, your schedule packed, your days uncertain, your results inconsistent, most people run back to what's familiar. They trade the dream for the safety of a steady, predictable life. But the dark reality is that the chaos isn't a sign you're failing, it's a sign you're growing. Success demands you step into rooms where you don't feel ready, take on projects that scare you, make decisions without having all the information. It thrives in uncertainty. And if you can't learn to function in that uncertainty, you'll never reach the level you're aiming for. In the early stages, this chaos will test your patience and your sanity. You'll have weeks where every plan you made falls apart, where every step forward seems to come with 2 steps back. You'll have to make high-stakes choices without enough time to think them through. You'll experience financial instability, emotional ups and downs, and moments where you wonder if all this disorder is worth it. And yet, this is where resilience is forged. The ability to operate in chaos without losing your vision is what separates those who talk about success from those who actually achieve it. Anyone can move forward when everything is going according to plan. The real winners are the ones who adapt and advance when nothing is going according to plan. The chaos is not meant to destroy you, it's meant to prepare you. Because here's another dark secret: the more success you have, the more moving parts there will be in your life, and the less control you'll feel. If you can't handle the disorder now, you won't survive the scale of it later. So you have to make a choice. Will you cling to comfort and settle for average, or will you step willingly into the storm, knowing that's where the real growth happens? The people who thrive aren't necessarily the smartest or the most talented, they're the ones who've learned to breathe in the chaos until it feels like oxygen. The sixth dark secret of success is that getting there once is not enough. You must constantly reinvent yourself, or the very thing you worked so hard to build will eventually crumble. People think the hard part is getting to success. They imagine that once they've made it, the struggle will end. But here's the truth most will never see until it's too late: success is not a permanent state. It's a moving target. The world changes fast, technology shifts, industries evolve, markets collapse, trends fade, new competition rises. What worked yesterday can fail you tomorrow. And the brutal part? The very skills, habits, and strategies that brought you success in the first place may not be the same ones that keep you there. You have to be willing to shed old versions of yourself, even the ones you're proud of. You must kill your own comfort zones repeatedly, breaking apart routines and identities you once clung to. This is where so many successful people fall. They start protecting the past instead of building the future. They try to repeat the same formula over and over, not realizing that the game has already changed. The emotional cost of reinvention is heavy. You'll have to question your own methods, admit when you're wrong, and sometimes abandon ideas you've invested years into. You'll face the fear of starting over, even when everyone around you expects you to keep winning without interruption. And that fear will whisper, what if you're not capable anymore? What if you were just lucky the first time? Here's the dark part. The world rarely celebrates reinvention. People like to lock you into the image they first knew. They want you to stay the version of you they're comfortable with. When you evolve, some will resist it, criticize it, or accuse you of losing your identity. But they don't see what you see, that staying the same is actually the fastest way to lose everything you've built. Reinvention requires humility. You have to be willing to learn from people younger, faster, hungrier than you. You have to admit that your old playbook is outdated, even if it brought you big wins. You have to risk embarrassment, risk being seen as a beginner again, in order to position yourself for the next chapter. The dark secret is that success doesn't just demand work, it demands *rebirth star. Over and over again. And most people don't have the stomach for it. They'd rather hold on to who they were than risk becoming someone new. But if you're not evolving, you're eroding. The most dangerous thing in success is comfort disguised as stability. If you want to keep winning, you must be willing to let go of the version of you that already has. That's the paradox. To keep your place at the top, you must be willing to go back to the bottom in spirit, in mindset, in hunger. Because the moment you think you've arrived, the countdown to your decline has already begun. The seventh dark secret of success is that the price you pay never stops, and it's always higher than you expect. Most people think there's a point in the journey where the sacrifices end, where the balance tips in your favor and the rewards finally outweigh the costs. And yes, there will be moments when you feel that way, moments when the wins are sweeter than anything you've ever tasted. But those moments are fleeting. The reality is, if you want to stay successful, you must be willing to keep paying the price over and over again for as long as you want to hold on to what you've built. In the beginning, the price is obvious: sleepless nights, long hours, relentless focus. But as you rise, the price changes form. It becomes time away from family. It becomes missed milestones in the lives of people you care about. It becomes the mental weight of making decisions that affect not only your life, but the lives of your team, your clients, your audience. It becomes the constant pressure of knowing that one wrong move could undo years of work. The dark truth is that success is not a one-time transaction. It's a lifelong subscription. And the bill is due every day. Some days it will take your energy. Other days your peace of mind. And sometimes, it will demand a piece of your heart. You'll have to choose between your ambition and your comfort, your vision and your relationships, your dream and your rest. Most people are willing to pay in the early days because they believe the cost is temporary. They tell themselves, I'll work like this for a few years, then I'll relax. But here's the part no one warns you about. Once you get a taste of the top, you'll realize there's no final win. There's always a new level, a new opportunity, a new challenge calling you forward. And with each level comes a bigger bill. This is why so many people burn out or walk away. It's not because they've lost the ability to succeed. It's because they've decided the cost is no longer worth it. And there's no shame in that. But you have to be brutally honest with yourself before you chase success. Are you willing to pay not just now but for years to come? Are you willing to let this be a lifestyle, not just a season? The dark secret is that success is not for the faint of heart. Not because the work is impossible, but because the price is endless. And you must learn to love the process enough that the cost feels like an investment, not a burden. You must build a life where the sacrifices you make are ones you're proud of, not ones you'll regret. In the end, the question isn't just whether you can achieve success. It's whether you can sustain it without losing yourself in the process. Because true success isn't measured only by what you've built, but by who you've become along the way and what you were willing to give, and keep giving, to make it real. So now you know. Success isn't just the glow you see on the outside, it's the grind, the scars, the sacrifices that no camera captures. It's the friendships that fade, the failures that stack, the sleepless nights, the constant reinvention. the chaos you learn to breathe in, and the price that never stops coming due. These are not warnings meant to scare you away, they are the truth meant to prepare you. Because if you chase success expecting it to be easy, you will quit the moment it gets hard. But if you walk into it knowing it will test you, break you, and rebuild you over and over again, then nothing will be able to stop you. The dark secrets are not there to discourage you, they are the hidden rules of the game. And once you know the rules, you can play to win. You will know that loneliness is not a sign you've lost your way, it's proof that you're walking a path most people are too afraid to take. You will know that failure isn't your enemy, it's your most honest teacher. You will know that chaos is not the storm destroying your dream, it's the wind pushing your ship toward it. You will understand that the price of success is high, but so is the cost of regret. And when the choice is between the pain of sacrifice and the pain of what could have been, you will choose sacrifice every single time. Because the view from the top, even if you're standing there alone, even if the climb nearly killed you, will remind you why you started. So don't just wish for success. Prepare for it. Train for it. Build the mind, the discipline, and the resilience to carry it. Step into the arena knowing you will bleed, knowing you will fall, knowing you will pay, and still choosing to fight. Because at the end of your life, you won't be remembered for the comfort you kept. You'll be remembered for the mountains you dared to climb, no matter how dark the path was on the way up. That is the dark secret of success, and the brighter truth it hides. If you can endure the shadows, you'll stand in a light most people will never know.